right. Good day, YouTube. How's everybody doing? Trying to get another great view out here. We got another storm coming in, so it's only going to get snowier as we move forward here. But I guess how I want to talk about this is how quickly we get back to where we thought we would never return, at least not anytime soon. And I say that collectively, we, not like me and one other person or anything. Collectively, I don't think anybody expected gun control to take center stage as quickly as it has and have such force behind it and such activism. Even I thought it would take a respite. It would have a siesta for a little while. I mean, the believers, the true diehard believers are still out there. We all knew that. The Schumers, the people lying in wait to ambush your rights are always lurking. But the ferocity at which is hit, and so quickly after this Florida event has caught, I don't know if off guard might be the wrong word for it, but it has been rather alarming, and it's gotten traction really faster than any other. Basically, they put their spokesmen out there, which are basically spokes kids, because we want to be gender neutral, right? So spokes kids are put out there, spokes children by the media conglomerate, the propaganda wing of the Marxist communists, and it gets a lot of feelers in people, and it's getting a lot of traction. A lot of ratings are going up. Will that actually translate to anything? Maybe a lot of the questions we're all having. I don't know that anybody expects legislation to pass through a Republican Congress and a Republican Senate and be signed by a Republican president. As much as I thought 2 years ago that Donald Trump was a wolf in sheep's clothing, just hiding out to destroy the Republican Party, essentially, to weaken it from the inside, make it fight against itself until the people disassociated themselves with it. That still could possibly be true, but I don't think any legislation will come out of this effectively, at least at the national level. Local politics, it sounds like a couple states are going to do things that it's like, well, why aren't you doing these things? A lot of these bills have been drawn up years ago, and you're just bringing them forward because of something that happened somewhere else, which means you're just an opportunist for your agenda, which has nothing to do with safety and definitely has nothing to do with freedom of the American people. But aside from that, I think our bigger concern now is the corporate conglomerates are using the feelers of everybody to justify their actions of what they've always wanted to do to begin with. We talked last week about the stories of the banks that are looking, or not the mutual funds. Mutual funds is the wrong word. But the investment funds people who back companies for a lot of their borrowing and a lot of their costs for being in the stock market and just helping them fund new ventures are coming out to disassociate stocks from their funds. So they're going to divest some of them are mutual funds technically, but some of the really, really big ones are looking at taking gun stocks out of their portfolios, which are going to reduce stock values for the gun manufacturers and thus make it harder to borrow capital and get loans to increase their business or do manufacturing or whatever. So it's taking money directly. That's probably more significant than people realize. you can sell a lot of guns, but it's hard to make the profit up front to fund future operations. They can stock away a little bit, but they use that little bit of profit to help get these loans, to secure the loans, to get future manufacturing in place, whether it's new machinery or whatever, to buy that stuff, move locations, whatever. They get those capital investments by paying a little bit down and paying some up front with that profit, but it takes a lot more money to actually progress the business. That's probably the most significant. And then you've got places like Dick's Sporting Goods today coming out and saying, we're just going to shut down, and we looked it up, and they stopped selling after Sandy Hook. It said temporarily, but did they ever restart selling black rifles, your modern sporting rifle, your AR-15, whatever you want to call it? Did they restart selling them? Did anybody ever actually see them, have them on the shelf again? I don't think that's clear that they ever actually started back up. And a lot of people it's virtue signaling, obviously. I was looked at their stock price. Their stock price is about half what it was 4 or 5 years ago. So they're not like doing well off. Maybe they're hoping this will give them a bump with some of the feel good people that are investing in them now and buy their stuff, and they'll get a bump in the stock price. Like, what does it really do for them? If they were serious about this, they would have done this years ago. It's obvious publicity move by them. And who else is going to follow suit, though? I guess Dick's is what you would call a fairly large sporting goods agency conglomerate, but Wal Mart and others are bigger players. Are they going to follow suit? And I guess Dick's said it was only for their field, and they have field and stream stores separate from what they have regular sporting goods store. I didn't know that. We don't have one nearby here, so I wasn't sure what the difference was, but I guess they have specific stores that are just called field and stream stores, and that's where those guns are at. So that's where they sell those type of firearms. What was interesting is they admitted to selling a shotgun to Mr. Cruz down in Florida, but they're going to still sell shotguns. So they admit there's a problem. It's in a tweet they put out, or it's probably on Facebook too, but I think it was a tweet in the article I looked at. You admitted that there's this supposed problem, and you sold a shotgun to this guy. You're going to virtue signal by banning the sale of AR-style weapons, but you're going to still continue to sell the shotguns that you sold to this guy, which could have been, the effects of a shotgun are much more devastating. Granted, you have to have a little bit better training to effectively employ it efficiently enough to, you got to be more quicker on the reloads and everything like that. You got to be efficient with it. So it takes a little more hands-on experience to engage a shotgun like you did that AR, but the effects on target are much more devastating in a lot of respects, especially if you hit what you're aiming at. Granted, you can wing somebody if you don't have good aim with a shotgun, but if you hit what you're aiming at, a shotgun is much more traumatic. If you want to talk about people's feelings getting hurt, show them a side by side of that effects and what the response would be from that. But that's interesting. But the hitting the guns where it hurts and the prices, and not only that, but as these manufacturers get pushed around and whatnot, it's going to affect the bottom line of anybody that purchases as well. And when I talk about getting back to the same point we were before, we've been talking about stocking up and buying for years and years, but yet there's still a run the weekend after this event. Like, why would you bum rush a gun shop show now? Are there really that many people that are into this and understand this? Are there really that many people that are uninformed enough to not already have what they need? Or are they just going to throw extra cash? Are these just opportunists who are going to buy low, sell high? I don't get it. Why people are bum rushing these gun shows when you should have already had what you needed. We always talk about it. Slow and steady, getting little by little what you need over time. Don't react to the news. But maybe they're just all opportunists and gun dealers anyway. Gun shows provide opportunities for gun dealers to go in there too and buy things at wholesale and stuff, I guess. so that they can turn around and, turn it. So maybe they're trying to get this ahead of the supply curve so that there's not a shortened supply line, and there's not a shortened demand for things they know they're going to need. So they're going in and buying things they know they need, whether it's parts, ammo, whatever. I don't know. That would be interesting to see if we get some actual intel on that. But a lot of it seems to be the common man too. And the common everyday Joe should already, if you're going to go to a gun show, you should already know the fix is in, and you need to be secure in what you had years ago. Granted, everybody could always use one more, but doing it the weekend after or something like that doesn't make any sense. Everybody's probably charging twice as much anyway, just off of that excuse alone. I don't know. I didn't go. There was one here, and I was like, it'd be kind of cool to go. I do have a list, but other things take priority. So we find ourselves back to where we were in 2009, back to where we were in 2013, overwhelming the supply line, increased demand just because of fear, the fear factor. It's got to stop living fearfully and be prepared on this level as much as any other. Excellent video I'll put below that was made last fall. I just found last night about the real reality of probably what's going to happen when they come for your guns. And we've kind of talked about it in all the different chats and all the things. You're not going to get somebody knocking at your door. It's going to be different avenues they come to have you willfully and voluntarily turn them in. That's the real concern. So I'll put that link below for you to check out. Really, people, how are we still back here in this fear mode when we should be in total preparedness, total relax, and just be prepared for the storm that comes, ready for it. We should be ready for it. There shouldn't be all this up in arms stuff going on. All this frustration and outrage, and why are we outraged? We knew this was in the works, right? I don't know, just some thoughts. I'm sure some of you got some answers. Let's hear them below. They're free.